Now, as you know, this series is brought to you by Prologic, so a big thank you to them for putting this on for us. And it does mean that we focus on a key item on each of these sessions as well. And today, it's this, the Prologic C-Series 2-man bivvy. Now, the reason you only seen it this morning and not sometime yesterday when I set it out is because, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't really looking forward to setting up a 2-man in what was probably around 24, 25 degree heat. It was sweltering yesterday, but I needn't have actually worried. I'd done this in the evening. I did have a couple of other blokes here that gave me a hand setting it up, but even if they weren't here, I would have been able to do this quite easily myself, because as a 2-man, yes, there's stacks of space in there, but if you're looking for a bivvy that's kind of a very generous 1-man, I guess you could use it for that. For longer sessions, it's perfect for that. But also, there is space in there to put 2 bed chairs. And as this stands alone, you can get this C-Series 2-man bivvy as it is, you can see right now, for around the £200 mark. I'm looking online today. But you can also buy this as a complete setup with an overwrap, and that comes in at about £100 extra, so just under £300 for this bivvy and the overwrap. And of course, that will give you a lot more space, because the overwrap goes around the general shape of this bivvy, but because of this large peak, it then drops down and gives you an extra bit of space as well. On top of that, it gives you more protection from the elements. So in day like today, it would keep it cooler hopefully in there and a bit more shade, which I'm actually going to leave this up for the rest of the day until I go, probably, just so I can have a little break from the shade. And also with a large vent at the back, it should give me some nice airflow if it does start to get a bit breezy. It's pretty still, the air at the moment, so it is already it's not even 8 o'clock yet and it's already feeling like it's upper teens. But I'm looking forward to having a bit of shade today. But yeah, so the overwrap will obviously keep it a bit cooler in the summer, but in the winter she'll keep it warm in there as well, and also reduces condensation. It got pretty damp last night, considering it's so hot yesterday, then dropped off to single figures. It did get a bit condensated, so if you were going to use this for longer sessions, I probably would put the overwrap on to cut down on the condensation. But yeah, the way it went up is pretty simple. It's a simple pram hood style bivvy, 2 main ribs, tension bars all the way around, so you've got 2 either side and 1 main one that goes from the very back all the way across to the peak. So the tension front to back is solid, and side to side again is pretty solid. Because of the way it's sort of wide and still fairly low, you can't stand up in there, it's not stupidly high either, which makes it a bit wobbly. It's pretty sturdy as it is. Pegs out simply. I've got the door completely pegged up at the moment, but that is a 2-way letterbox style door. No vents on the front on this one, but you can pull back the sides, so I'm going to have this as a completely open fronted shelter. And if you were to do that and pull back the sides and keep it like that and then put the overwrap on, of course you then have absolute stacks of room, because that won't be there, but the overwrap will be out down from the peak, giving you probably an extra foot or so of space at the front. Material wise is 8000mm hydrostatic head, so it protects you from all the elements that you need. It does let light through, so if you like a bivvy that's a bit darker, obviously you're going to have to go for heavier material, and that's one of the downsides of going thicker material. Typically it becomes a lot heavier, so it's fairly lightweight for a 2-man. I'm not sure of the exact statistics on the, or specification on the weight, but it wasn't breaking my back. It came on with barrow, easy enough, and pack down size isn't much bigger than a standard size bivvy, because as you can see, it's not ginormous for a 2-man, but it is good for longer sessions on your own, or you could take someone else with you. So it's ideal for someone that's doing longer sessions or likes a bit more space, or maybe do the odd trip to France once a year or something and don't want to break the bank, because as I said about the price, this on its own as it stands is around the 200 mark, with the overwrap is 300. So all in, if you're just using a 2-man bivvy every now and then, it's not extortionate like some 2-man bivvies can be. So yes, it may be a bit more stripped back on features as you'd see on some higher end bivvies, but it's catering for those of you that are on a bit more of a budget, but still like to use a bigger bivvy at times. And just touch upon rod retaining straps as you'd expect on the peak, and this peak also folds back. So if you're not a fan of having a pram hood style peak on the front, just take this bar out, roll it up, and as you would toggle any kind of window or something, you've got little toggles on either side that will hold that peak back, so it just makes it a much more, I don't know, sleeker, rounded sort of shape. But I do like having a peak on it, just protects you from any driving rain. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is the Prologic C-Series 2-man bivvy with overwrap. Back to the fishing. Probably try and get on the surface again. Whew.